Good evening, everyone. You will have to excuse me for my bad throat, but in any case, I'm sure what the distinguished speaker was talking about is how do we teach actually, even before we assess. That is the question that comes to my mind, and I will just like to run this short video in order to just give a feel of what are we doing as teachers in schools. So I would just like to start with actually before we assess presentation on करेंगे even before we assess how are we teaching is more important. Are we just delivering the content to the students? Are we making them understand the way passionately sir was on with that examples of telling that how we can teach full scale कर दीजिए how we can teach a particular concept with the objectives of what should be the learning outcome of that content to be delivered. That has to be known to me so that I know even before I assess that process through which the child has gone. I knew the skills that I'm trying to inculcate in the children. I'm aware of what should I expect out of the delivery of that lesson. So even before I start assessing my children and putting them into grades, how are my teachers teaching into the classrooms is equally important and even more important. So that child should know what is the perspective of assessment for him. I've tried to put all my experience of what I have experimented with in the rural most areas of Rajasthan or in the metro city of Delhi or on the highways of Delhi Jaipur in international projects. So I hope so. It gives you the feeling that it is something that I have done it with my teachers, students, and we have seen tremendous transformation changes that can effect only when we know the focus on what we are working on. So when we talk of assessments, alternative assessments, we talk of assessing differently. We talk of using of non-traditional strategies, skill-based, performance-based, and then evaluation by whom? Self, peer, group. Are we doing that in the classrooms? Single teacher assessment, group teacher assessments. Am I using those techniques which the CBSE manual, which we have kept as a Bible guide for the system, the National Curriculum Framework, the latest one on 2001, is an elaborative work which can help us to implement many activity-based activities in the classrooms. And it has to be a process where even parents are involved into the process of evaluation. There are reports on that whether there should be a report card for a parent too. And we are talking of not only alternate assessments, but changing the existing systems, because the results of Pratham survey report we talk about, Acer report that we know about, the PISA performance of Indian students that we talk about. So we all know that something that is missing out is the quality education that we are delivering. Number is one thing, but what exactly the children are learning. So are we doing assessment for this, ranking, evaluating students or teachers? How are they related to different kinds of learners? When we talk of multiple intelligence, when we talk of slow learners, when we talk about gifted children. I have an experience of children who were labeled as dyslexics, hyperactive, slow learners, having passed out 10th and 12th, even done graduation. Of course, there was a different approach for handling those kinds of things. If you have a focus, you can do it. Every child should be progressing, and we should ensure that learning is enhanced for whatever process that we are using. So assessments, according to me, I've also written an article on this, that they have always remained an untapped potential because we have never used them to give a right kind of feedback, right kind of analysis, either to ourselves as a teacher or to the students or to the parents. If we could use that feedback from that test that we have done, assessment that we have done in a proper way, probably we could go back to rectifying the problem. So the question is, could they help make a student improve his or her performance? My experience is yes, because I have done it. Even in the area where girls came from, the northeastern areas, what to talk of speaking in English, they couldn't even talk in proper Hindi. We have grown those children in those areas to a level where today they are graduates or running, having their own MNC companies or being a part of financial advisor companies. So could they strengthen? I will talk of cognitive skills which are required for a successful learning. So attention span, why do children do not have a concentration in the classroom? What is the ineffectiveness or delivering style of a teacher? Why the child is not able to process the information at a speed the teacher is expecting? What is the working memory, long-term and short-term of a child? What are auditory and visual processing of the children? Can they really logically reason out what is being learned and why it is being learned and how it is being learned and where it is applicable? And to all this, the reports that I have been reading about is the world says yes. They talk about training the brain. I'm not talking of that part here, but they're talking of training the brain. They believe that if you train the brain in the right kind of direction, you can improve. You can improve the performance of a child. In fact, the report, the PDF is, can you make a dull student a better child? So I've just put the question in a different format. The perspective of assessments, the center place shows how the assessment is, and the left and right are as they are related to a teacher and a student. This is only my view. This is not a final verdict, but probably everybody can have, every institution should have a vision of how they're going to do it. So assessments have to be diagnostic, find out what is wrong where, why is children failing, why my teachers are not able to get the learning outcome of students, find out the remedial measures, enhance the teaching learning strategies, and create that effectiveness for teaching learning process. This is something that I have combined to try to put in a visual format the assessments, teaching and learning. On the top you see the Bloom's taxonomy that everybody is talking about. On the right side, the vision of good quality learning which every institution should have. And there should be reason for assessment. Why I am being assessed? For what? And then the constructive process of learning, unlearning, relearning with the child and with the teacher must go on. Do we allow the child to be self-paced, self-motivated, self-assessed to enhance and empower and construct knowledge? Do the teachers have continuity, activity-based and experiential learning, which CC is talking about? And I'm proud of having worked in CC in digital education too. So this is the combined vision which I look at with assessment, teaching and learning, which is also a part somewhere based on the CBSE manual for CC also. When we talk of assessments to enhance learning, how should they be? They should be continuous. Everybody was talking about that. They should be comprehensive. The only point that I want to add is there should be no comparison. Every child should be allowed to learn at his or her own speed so that the child is progressing with his self-esteem, self-evaluation, understanding of evaluation and improving accordingly. And at the same time, the teacher should have that kind of, this is only my points of vision, you can always add or delete, but at least as a principal, I could share this with my teachers. That let's at least come to a point on certain issues. That how are we going to implement these institutions? And when we talk about emerging concepts of assessments, again, they have been discussed at various levels. Assessment of learning, assessment for learning, assessment as learning. Are they different? How are they different? Are they effective? Which one is more effective? Because till date they have remained more or less teacher-centric. Because now when we talk about learner-centered education, the evaluation also has to be somewhere the learner-centered, the student-centered. So what today's world is talking about assessments in learning and that they are student-centric assessments. Are we working on these kinds of student-centric assessments? Then only we can get a result of that. Again, I've tried to put here in a format for all of us, the Bloom's taxonomy. If I know the objective of assessment, that what I want to do, if I can identify the skill to be assessed, I can always think of the samples that I can use. The way sir was explaining, somewhere it relates that concept, sorry. Now, I'm talking of certain alternative methods, or maybe everybody must have used, but this is something I have also used in my schools. I'm just sharing with you the type of assignment. If I can really tell my teachers, think of what kind of assignment you want to use, what type of assignment you want to make, and what will be involved into that, probably more or less the focus of teaching, learning and assessment is clear. And the moment that concept clarity is there in my mind, I know I'm going to deliver the best in the classroom. So when you use assessment stations, I'm sure we are all aware of those biolab practicals when samples are kept and you are asked to go around, identify, but we can do it differently for different subjects. So how do we use, in our school days also, we were expected to write the book reviews. We were made to read the book and write the reviews. But the format, the things are changing, so you can use in written or oral format. Again, there are concept maps. How do you design learning material assessments? Now, this is something that I will talk to how CC can be made easier. How I have been using that to get the questions also from the student at the same time, make the students read it. Let's divide the class into two parts. Each one of them has to read one page, but each one of them has to make 4 or 5 questions out of it. And then they will ask the answers to the other side. And tomorrow I tell them, you have a test out of these 2 pages and I have these 10 questions which should be ready for everyone. I can little bit modify the language. So I as a teacher have got 10 questions with me as a question bank, At the same time, I've ensured that children have, both the groups have read both the pages, because they have to compete with themselves in order to. Yes, yes. These are different strategies that we're talking about. This is innovative as a vision of an institution. Child spends almost 12 years plus if it is a 1 to 12 session. 15 years if he starts from nursery KG. What does he come out as? Is he an empowered individual? So in the lower part classes, the elementary classes, we are talking about these kinds of skills that we want to look forward for. And in the higher section, we give it more of independence to the child. Self-perception, if we can create that kind of feeling among the children, this works out. I have experienced this with girls in my girls' institution from remotest possible areas. I have experienced this in my metro schools with children from the lower strata but still studying in our schools. Secret of success, of course, everybody knows that unless teachers are trained to do that, nobody else can do that. So we got to train the teacher. So thanks to everyone, and thank you everyone for giving me patient hearing. And this was just talking to all of you like a teacher, what I have experienced, what I have done, and what I carry in my heart as a passion. I just returned from Srinagar from a training conference. Somebody was talking about awareness, how do you create? So since last year, probably I must have done almost 100 conferences all across India, where I have just shared how to use technology in the classrooms, how to use innovative methods from the same single slide, how can you use the development of language, assessment of different kinds of skills. And I'm really hats off to the people in lay areas who are using technologies and still leading the way better than the metro cities who take pride in different. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much for giving me time. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone. I'll just sit down.